Lego Wolf Productions, here with another episode of LAF, Lego Answers and Facts. This week's theme was BrickLink. Now before I get into those questions, next week's theme will be Lego YouTube channel. So any questions about maybe how to start a Lego YouTube channel, how to be successful, my favorite YouTube channels, you can put your favorites in the comments below, or any comments about which YouTube channel, Lego YouTube channels are good for what. So any questions about Lego YouTube channels you can put in the comments below, and I'll be sure to answer those next week. So, this video, it's going to be a little bit different than usual. I'm going to answer, I think I have about 10 questions or so, and then I'm going to give you a pretty long, it's about 8 minutes, but it's kind of short compared to some other tutorials of how to use BrickLink. So, the questions are from Aiden Hailstone. He asked, favorite thing from BrickLink that I've bought. So far, it's the ARC 170, the newer one. Wumbo Watson asked, when you buy on BrickLink, do you look for pieces from different stores, or do you just like to shop at the same stores? I usually try to find, some stores obviously don't have all the pieces you need, so I find the item that costs the most that I'm buying, and then I find the store that sells it the cheapest, and then buy as many things from that store as I can, because the more stores you buy from, the more shipping you're going to have to pay, which can really start to add up. So if you have to pay an extra few cents for a piece, if you're only buying a limited quantity, it's a lot cheaper than buying from a couple of different stores. But if you're buying in big quantity, definitely find the cheapest store for that. Epic Bricks asked about how many times have you ordered off of BrickLink? To date, I think it's about 35 times so far. Sev Productions asked, do you have a store? I do not have a BrickLink store. And he says, I live in a country where there's no official Lego shops or anything, and there are no local shops. Is it safe to order from BrickLink from an American store? Will it be delivered? So, sometimes there's BrickLink stores in your countries, but those might be really limited. Most of the BrickLink stores are in the U.S., and that's where you can find the most variety. But if you live in a different country, you're more than welcome to order from American stores. Just make sure they ship to your country. But it'll say in the tutorial, I'll show you where it says if they ship to your country. And so, you can get insurance. Usually it costs $1 or $2, and that ensures that it gets to you. But most stores include a tracking number. As long as it's a larger store, if they have over 1,000 feedback, they'll include a tracking number when they send you a message saying that your item is shipped. And then if you click on that, it shows how far along the process it has been. I think that goes, at least in the U.S., it might continue international. I'm not sure on that. But if you get insurance, you for sure will get that. This cool name asks, is BrickLink cheaper than any other online Lego stores? For sure. BrickPow Productions asked, what are the pros and cons of your own BrickLink store? I don't have a BrickLink store, so I can't really comment on that. Frosty Brick asked, how often do you order from BrickLink? Do you have any favorite stores on BrickLink? I order about once or twice a month, but when I do order, I make some pretty big purchases there. And then favorite stores, Plastic Bricks Direct. When they have stuff on sale, it's usually a good store. Also, I'm trying to think, there's a few other stores, can't really think of them now, but some has some really Star Wars sets really cheap, so I usually end up buying from those people. Magma Studios asks, is BrickLink international or just a few countries? Again, stores are only in a select number of countries, but the bigger stores ship to almost every country. Brandon Gutierrez asks, do you use PayPal to buy Lego off BrickLink? Yes, and I'll talk about that in the video, the tutorial, but make sure you have your parents' permission, because you do need to set up a PayPal account, but you need your parents' permission to do that. Kyle Princhiati asked, if you wanted to buy an old Lego set or minifigure, about how often would BrickLink be cheaper than eBay? Almost always. There are a few instances, especially Star Wars sets, you can sometimes find those cheaper without the minifigs on eBay than without the minifigs on BrickLink. Gavin Sichoik asked, how long have you had to wait on average for a shipment? Usually, well, I only buy from U.S. stores and I live in the U.S., so usually it's about 2 to 4 days, but recently, orders I just made have actually taken a little over 5 days. So it really just depends on the store. So that does it for the questions. Again, don't forget to comment about anything having to do with the LEGO YouTube channel, and we'll move right in to the tutorial.
So here is BrickLink.com, and you can get here by just searching BrickLink on Google, and this will be the page that comes up. So what you're going to want to do is go to Buy Lego, click on that, and this screen comes up. Now there's a couple different things you can buy, and most of you will either be buying sets, parts, or minifigs. So we'll start with the sets. I'll just give you a brief overview of how to use this. So it shows all of the themes for each set. So you have holiday, hobby sets, Hero Factory, Harry Potter, Star Wars, superheroes, Aqua Zone, Alpha Team, Adventures, all the themes that Lego has ever made. Not just the themes that are out now, but every theme Lego has ever made. So I go up here to Star Wars, and here it has the mini sets, and then the mini sets from all of these eras. It has planet sets, and then these are just the regular sets, and then here are like the Ultimate Collector Series sets. So, for example, we'll just go to the regular sets. Let's say episode 3. Click here, and then it shows all of the sets that are available for sale, which is every single set Lego's ever made for episode 3. And let's say we want the ATAP, so we'll click here where it says View Them. Now it shows all the ATAPs for sale currently. There are 7 pages of that. And if we go up here, you can see the cheapest is $39.32, and they have 5 of those. However, this is from Germany, and that means that it'll be a little bit more expensive for shipping. Actually, a lot more expensive for shipping. And if you read the description here, it says ATAP with instruction box only, no minifigs, and no weapons. So you basically only get the ATAP for $40. So if you want to limit your search, you can go up here where it says any condition. Maybe you only want it new. You can change whether you want to search by best price, highest price, lowest price, highest quantity of them, lowest quantity, newest items. Keep it on best price. And you can also go here to where it says show more filter options. So if you want shipping to be relatively cheap, if you live in the US, then I would change it to US. Otherwise, you can change it to the country you live in if there's BrickLink stores there. But if there's not, there's most of the big stores usually ship to almost every country. So if you live in a country where there is no BrickLink store where it pops up in that little display screen right here, like if your country's not here, most of the big stores will still ship to you. So if you need pieces, for example, I'll show you that in a little bit. So here's one for $40. Again, this one has no minifigs. It is from the US, and right here it says min buy $2. That means the minimum buy for the store is $2. So when we click on go buy it, it takes it to this store. So each item is sold by a specific seller, so any one of you can have your own store if you want to. And this store is called Brick by Brick. Up here it shows the feedback the person has. 467 have left feedback, and 99.73% have left positive feedback. So usually you want to buy from a store that has a lot of feedback, so you know for sure that you're going to get your set or whatever you're buying, and there's not going to be any problems. It also shows over here where they're located. Of course, this is in the US. It'll show the state, Kansas. And then it shows how long they've been on BrickLink, since November 5th of 2009. So let's say I want one of these. I'll click, or I type in 1, hit enter, and it'll add it to my cart. Now if I click up here where it says view cart, it shows all things I have in my cart. Then I can go to checkout, and then that's where I would sign in, and I can purchase the item. Now before you want to check out, you always want to go to store terms. Make sure there's no hidden fees. Like right here it says shipping costs are the listed physical location post office price per USPS.com plus up to $1 for shipping supplies. So I might pay an extra $1 with this order so they can put shipping supplies in it, or just to pay for their shipping supplies. And then up here it also says ships to selected countries. So that's where I was saying the bigger stores usually ship to most countries, where here these are the only countries that this store ships to. But like I said, most of the larger stores ship to almost every country. So then while you're in the store, let's say you already picked up the ATAP, maybe you want some more sets. So you can go over here where it says sets and look at different themes here. Maybe you want a superhero set. This one's $50. Add it to your cart. And this one's new and sealed, so it includes the minifigures, unlike the ATAP. So here you have your 2 sets. It shows your total, and you can go check out with that. Now, if I go back to, if I just click buy here, then it'll take me back to the original home screen. I'll go to parts now, and here are all the parts. Now this is where it can get very confusing for some people who don't know a lot about the specific part they're looking for. So you're gonna it would be good to spend about an hour or so just going through each of these, maybe except the Duplo part or like the electric part if you don't need a motor or anything, and just seeing what's in each one so you kind of get a good idea. So let's say I wanted a plate. I'll click plate here, and it shows all the different types of plates and the colors. So maybe I want a 2x4 plate in dark orange, and this number right next to it shows you how many of each are in there. So I'll go there. Again, I'll change this to US. You can also, you can also change it to a minimum quantity. So let's say I'm building a mock and I need at least 5 of these. Type that in there, and then it comes up with the best price. I'll change it to new from the US, 9 cents. Click go buy it. Again, it takes you to the store. You can pick up, let's say, all 15 of these, and then it shows your total right here that's in your cart right now. Maybe I want some plant pieces. I'll go over here, pick up 23 of those. Maybe I want some soaps. Get 6 of these. So up here again, it shows you your total in your cart. You can click on view cart, and it shows you all this information. So finally, we'll just go to the minifigs here. And I recommend, if you're buying something very expensive, find the store that has that the cheapest, and then if you need more things, sometimes it's better just to order it all from the same store, because sometimes shipping can get expensive. Let's say you make 10 orders just to get, because certain stores have a lot of parts cheaper than the other ones, but then again, you're going to pay a lot more with shipping because you have 10 different orders and each one could cost around $5 for shipping. So it's going to be a lot more expensive than just buying all the pieces from one store. So on minifigs, it has all the minifig themes here. We'll go to Star Wars Episode 2. Maybe I want some clones right here. Click view them. Again, I'll change this to the US. I've only buy from the US because don't want to pay super expensive shipping. Here I can get 3 for $3.19. Go buy it. Again, I can click 3 here, then view my cart, and maybe I want some parts. Maybe I want some minifig heads, one of those. Maybe I want a set. Go to Star Wars. Here's an AT-AT. Get one of those. Again, always read the description when you're buying a set, or even for some parts, because they'll say if it's damaged or not, or if it's missing things. So here's my cart, $130, and then I can click checkout, sign in, and then check out. Under store terms, it shows the payments accepted. I think every store, or here, yeah, right here, almost every store accepts PayPal. Actually, I think every store has to accept PayPal. So make sure you get your parents' permission. You cannot create a PayPal account on your own until you're over 18, so you might have to use your parents. Otherwise, you can get a student account, I think if you're 30 or 13 or older, but then your parents have to use their bank account and hook it up to it so they transfer money from their bank account to your PayPal. So definitely have to talk to your parents before even considering buying from BrickLink. So that does it for this video. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to check out my channel for some other awesome LEGO videos, and have a great day.